Welcome back to another season of the ABCs of the Scary, Spooky, and Creepy. For those of you who didn't see the first season, this is when the YouTube community joins us scare enthusiasts in learning the who, what, when, where, and why, not in that order, of the supernatural and the paranormal. I'm your host Jesse. You can call me Jay for short if you would like. And while I have this moment, please watch the whole video. Allow me to earn your like and your subscription. And if you are subscribed, please share. Spread this brand and this channel. I appreciate it, and I kind of hope you guys like the new set. I worked a lot of hard days on it. So, with that being said, let's get it cracking. But it wasn't until I was 6 years old when I first laid eyes on the Addams family and in 91, with the movies for the 91 and the 93 years. Which obviously I'm biased because that was my childhood, so I feel like they're the best. But by the time I did see those, the franchise had already had over 60 plus years of success. 70 years of success, that means that's a lot of people, a lot of time, a lot of mistakes to really get to this point. You have to think about it. 70 years, that's 7 decades. That's a long time. So this story begins all the way back in 1912 when Charles Huey Addams was born to Charles and Grace Addams. He grew up wanting to become a freelance cartoonist, and in 1938 he got his opportunity by making the Addams Family comic. That's right, the Addams Family started off as a comic and really was the start of something quite incredible. Now, it was also alleged that he kind of had a thing for Morticia. Morticia, I mean, well, let's be honest, who didn't? Who really didn't? Granted, with her dark side, and still, who didn't? But it was alleged that his first wife and his second wife, Estella Barb and Barbara Jean Day, looked exactly like Morticia. Now you gotta remember, he created this in 1938, so it was kind of around the same time that he met. But let's be known, Estella Barb is the one they say looks even more like Morticia. Now, both marriages failed, and he had a third marriage to a Marilyn Matthews Miller. Let's just hope that he switched up the game, because I don't know if she also looks like Morticia, but if the first 2 marriages didn't work and they looked like a certain somebody with a certain taste and a certain style, let's hope he switched it up. Seriously. Now let's introduce the family. Starting out from the bottom to the top, you have Pugsley Addams, who is the young son, kind of the grunt, I guess you may say. You know, he's just like a boy at that age, just head first into everything, ask questions, later probably never. Then next you have Wednesday Addams, who obviously we know is the brain of the operations, but she has one wicked, vindictive cold shoulder. Oh man, she'll just stare at you. And once she stares at you, you know you're in trouble. You know you done messed up. Next off you have Cousin Ed, which we all know low-key is most of our favorite. I don't know why. But a lot of people that I know who enjoy the Addams Family, including myself, we all like Cousin Ed. And the last Cousin Ed was actually played by Snoop Dogg, so you know he's got a little flavor in there. But, you know. And then you have Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester, I think everyone has an Uncle Fester in their family. Like, really. He's always around doing goofy stuff with goofy, quirky ideas, but always a good time. And, yeah. Next off, you have Grandmama. Grandmama, she's like, you ever have the grandma that, like, knew how to do everything but never ever showed an ounce of like disappointment, fear, or anything like that. And then one day you like step on that nerve that you never knew she had, and then the next thing you know her gangster comes out. Yeah, that's grandmama. Grandmama's cool with it until you press on that nerve or you go at her family, and then she's all ready. She's ready to roll. Then you have, I would say, the second best butler ever, after Jeffrey from Fresh Prince. Yeah, so after Jeffrey and Fresh Prince, he would be the second best butler out there, I would have to say. Oh, no, third, because you got to throw Alfred in there. So I'm going to say third. Yeah, you got Jeffrey, Alfred, and then Lurch. Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. And then, whenever you hear a love song, Beyonce's Crazy in Love, or whatever crazy love songs are out there, this is the definition of it. Gomez and Morticia Addams. Literally, their love is so strong and so potent that you can feel it when you watch it through the screen. You can feel their loyalty. You can feel the love for each other. I mean, heck, they were faced with death multiple times, and instead of being like, no, I don't want to die or I'll miss you, well, they did say I'll miss you, but they were talking about how they couldn't wait to see each other on the other side. Like, what? You're telling me that they were both talking about how they can't wait to see each other in the afterlife? Like, that's some powerful love right there. I don't know about you, but that's some straight powerful love. And that's how true love should be. Now, to begin the saga, we have to start off with the Addams Family comic strip, which was in 1938 created by Charles Chaz Addams. Now, this comic strip depicted that the Addams were the only surviving members of the entire family. And it was even criticized by the New Yorker by saying that the characters that were unnamed and underdeveloped. I guess you can say the Addams Family didn't have a good start to the franchise. Now, in 1964, you would have the original Addams Family, and the cast would consist of Carolyn Jones and Janet Waldo playing Morticia, John Astin, Lenny Weinrib playing Gomez, Ted Cassidy playing Lurch, Lisa Loring and Cindy Henderson playing Wednesday, Ken Weathermax playing Pugsley, Grandmama being played by Blossom Rock, and then Felix Celia and Anthony Margot playing Cousin Ed. Now, the reason why there are multiple names for some of the characters is because throughout the first season to the second season, they wanted to switch out fresher and younger faces to appeal to their audience. In 1972, you had the Addams Family meet Scooby-Doo. And this is the third episode of that season. And in this episode, Gomez and Morticia are wanting to take a second honeymoon in order to celebrate their love even more. They end up meeting Scooby and the gang, which they therefore trick them into babysitting for the family so that Gomez and Morticia can go on this honeymoon. Eventually, Wednesday ends up going missing, and the gang and the family find themselves upon another mystery that they have to solve together. Now, in 1975, you would have Halloween with the new Addams Family. This would be an 11-year reunion of the original cast. They would have everyone except for Blossom Rock, who was unfortunately ill and was unable to attend the filming. And after it was broadcast, shortly after that, she would pass away. Next off, the next two, the 91 and the 93 renditions, I find to be the best. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid. You know, I was born in 88, so I grew up in the 90s. But these two films would together gross over $210 million worldwide. And the cast would consist of Raul Julia as Gomez, Angelica Houston as Morticia, Christina Ricci as Wednesday, Carol Stoyachin, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Stoyachin as Lurch, Pugsley would be played by Jimmy Workman, Judith Molina as Grandmama, and then later on in 93 they would replace Grandmama with Carolyn Kane and also adding Joan Cusack to the cast. Now, I'd often wondered why there was never a third movie made, and unfortunately the reason why was because shortly after the second movie was made, Raul Julia would actually pass away from a stroke, and unfortunately that's why. So that kind of hurt when I found that out, because I love the movies, and I always thought that Raul played the best Gomez. Now you would have a 1998 version, which would be confused to be for a like cheaper trilogy of the other two, and it would go straight to the movies, which mean, and it would go straight to DVD, which means it didn't do so well. And then finally in 2010, the Addams Family would meet Boardwalk. And finally in 2010, the Addams Family would finally go to Broadway in their own musical. Never seen it, so hopefully it's good. If you've seen it, please comment in the description box below and let me know. And then finally, in 2019, they would give the most current rendition, which would be an animated movie of the Addams Family, which today, the sequel to that movie is released. So you guys go out and see that. Make sure you guys have fun. It's a free plug for them, I guess. I don't know. But this is the chronology of the Addams Family. And the reason, and with really looking up all this information and seeing all the faces of the actors and actresses, you can only wonder like who else helped, you know. And I think that's what we always have to remember for when we have these epic sagas and these epic franchises, is the individual people that work together to bring this to life. That, I believe, is the hidden treasure of any successful franchise, any successful anything, business, team, whatever. It's the parts that work together in order to make things come to life.